All right, let's get right to it, because you know how these stories go. Some people wear $1,000 suits and think they got all the answers, but it's always the kid in muddy boots nobody notices, right? I'm standing there, just killing time near the janitor's closet, waiting for my uncle's shift to end, when the CEO of Grav Systems, Leonard Graves, the kind of guy who flies in from New York just to make a scene, starts throwing shade at everyone in the room. The whole floor is holding its breath because the company's pride and joy, this $6 million monster of a machine, has been dead for weeks, and nobody, nobody can figure out why. Leonard's strutting around like he's on TV, acting all cool, tossing out lines about how if his top engineers can't fix it, maybe the cleaning crew should take a shot. Everyone laughs, that nervous, please don't let him pick me kind of laugh, and then, wouldn't you know it, his eyes land right on me. I'm 16, wearing old jeans, mud-caked boots, and my Uncle Roy's flannel rolled up to my elbows. "Hey, farm boy," he says, pointing like you right there. "You want to try your luck?" People expect me to freeze up, embarrass myself, but honestly, I'm tired and a little annoyed, so I just shrug and step forward, try not to trip on the stairs. Uncle Roy's whispering, "He's just visiting, Mr. Graves, but Leonard's all about the show, let the kid try. It's just a machine." And suddenly, I'm center stage, every phone in the room filming me, waiting for me to fail. I walk up to this behemoth, run my fingers along the cold steel. You ever get that sense something's off, just from touch? I can see the engineers in the corner, half smirking, half worried. I kneel down, squint at a nest of wires under the glass panel, and I spot it. A couple of connectors flipped, one jammed behind a bracket. Someone must have misread the polarity marker's rookie move, honestly. I mutter, "This was installed backward." Pull out my little screwdriver from my backpack. Yeah, I bring tools everywhere, old habit, and swap the wires. There's dead silence. I hit the reset. 1 second, nothing. Then a hum, gears spinning, all those green lights flicker into life one by one, and suddenly the whole place erupts, people gasping, dropping their phones, trying to look like they knew it all along. Leonard's jaw just about hits the floor. You can see him wrestling with whether to be impressed or angry. "Beginner's luck," he blurts out, but Clara Donnell, one of the senior engineers, shakes her head. "No, that was experience." "Where'd you learn that, kid?" I dust off my jeans, glance up. "Help my dad build something like this back on the farm." That gets the room whispering, and Leonard finally rattled asks, "And who's your father?" I tell him, "Cole Weiriker." It's like a bomb goes off. Every face goes pale. The name ricochets around the warehouse, and just then, right on cue, my dad himself walks in, tall, broad-shouldered, every step measured like he owns the place. See, folks always thought my dad was just another farmer, but the truth is he's a legend, an engineer who walked away from the game after an accident to run the family land. Everything I know, I learned from him not from books, but from long nights fixing harvesters and milking machines, making things work with nothing but grit and stubbornness. Leonard tries to save face, stammering about not knowing who I was, but now, nobody's laughing. The power in the room just shifted. Dad looks at me with that quiet pride, not just because I fixed a machine, but because I stood my ground. You know what I mean? It's that moment you realize the underdog just flipped the script. Now here's the twist, remember Clara, the engineer? She steps forward and says, "We could use both of you here for real." And it's not just politeness, she means it. Even the higher-ups start nodding along. Suddenly, I'm not just a janitor's nephew or some farm kid, I'm being offered a real shot. And my dad too. I know it's big, but honestly, I'm thinking of everyone like me who ever got laughed at, told to stay in their place, who knew more than they let on. This isn't just about fixing machines. It's about fixing the whole way people see worth and talent. Weeks go by. Dad and I work side by side with the company's best, and it turns out a little hands-on wisdom goes a long way. Every day, I find ways to tweak the old designs, streamline the process, and pretty soon, people stop questioning whether I belong and start coming to me for advice. Even Clara becomes an ally, championing my ideas in board meetings, pushing the execs to listen. The factory starts to change. The atmosphere's lighter, hopeful. There's less of that snide attitude, more teamwork. Word gets out, investors get interested. The company's stock ticks up, reporters sniff around for a feel-good story. But for me, it's about proving that a last name, a job title, doesn't tell you a thing about a person's worth. You want another twist? One day, the same Leonard Graves who tried to humiliate me finds himself on the wrong end of a boardroom vote. They ask him to step down. Seems the company wants leadership that understands innovation comes from everywhere, not just the corner office. They offer Dad a consulting gig, and me a lead role in the new innovation team. I'm staring at the contract, remembering every doubt, every late night back home when I thought none of this would ever matter. Standing on stage at the factory celebration, I'm not thinking about money or praise, I'm thinking about my roots. My dad, all the people who never got a chance because someone thought they didn't look the part. He leans in and says, "You fixed more than the machines, kid. You helped folks believe in themselves again." And he's right. I'm just getting started. Now, the factory feels alive, not just noisy and bright, but buzzing with purpose. The same spot where I was once just the janitor's nephew is now my ground zero for change. Sure, some folks still whisper, still doubt. But most are with me, and the results speak for themselves. The culture shifts, glass ceilings crack. People from all backgrounds start seeing themselves in the story and dreaming bigger. One chilly morning, out of the blue, I get a call from Leonard. Different voice, different attitude. He asks if I'll lead a new sustainable tech project, admits, in his way, that he misjudged what makes a leader. Full circle, right? I take it, but not for him, for everyone watching, wondering if their story could turn too. At the next all-company meeting, I tell my team, this is our chance. Innovation isn't just about machines. It's about us building each other up, using every lesson, every failure, every late night. Nobody gets left out because of where they started. The room's silent not out of fear, but respect. I can see in their faces, they believe. And honestly, that's the real win. Funny thing, when the news finally gets out, people don't call it luck. They see the sweat, the setbacks, the guts it took. I become a symbol, sure, but I'd trade that any day for the look on a new kid's face when they realize their shot is coming. The CEO's gamble backfired. He set off a revolution, not just in tech, but in how people think about each other. Now, every time the sun sets over that factory, I remember where I started, what it felt like to be underestimated. The impossible? Nah, that's just another word for untried. So, let me ask you, where do you stand? Ever been written off? Told to stay in your lane? What would you do if your moment came? Drop your thoughts below, because this story isn't just mine. It's for anyone who ever dreamed of more. Let's talk justice, talent, and what it really means to lead.